Let's turn now to the fallout from yesterday's Paradise Papers revelations. Governments and tax authorities around the world are now weighing up their options after the leaked documents revealed high-profile companies and individuals not paying their fair share of tax.
It's left many questions about the ethics of the international taxation system. Pascalis Raimondos is a professor of economics with an understanding of how multinationals are taxed or avoid tax, and he joins us now from Brisbane. Pascalis Raimondos, thanks so much for joining us. Good morning.
Thank you, Virginia. Good morning.
First of all, from what you've read of the Paradise Papers and, of course, what you know of the international taxation system anyway, are we seeing anything illegal?
No. And that is the basic difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion. Tax avoidance is legal, tax evasion is illegal. And there is the saying that the difference between the two, it's the thickness of a prison wall. But yes, it is legal.
That's a very, very nice line. We'll remember that one this morning.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
That prison wall, however, is everything. And if they're managing to stay on the right side of it, well, then I can't imagine there's much that any jurisdiction, that any government can do anywhere about this.
True, and that is the problem. There is a huge demand for such services that the tax havens are producing, and I don't imagine either that we could have suddenly a world where these services will not be provided. So I don't think the focus should be to eliminate the tax havens. This is a cause that will lead us to nowhere. That will be very, very difficult. We can make all the arrangements that we want, but at the end of the day, there will be a country, there will be a region that would like to provide these services, and they will be provided.
All right, so let's accept that as a reality, and I think that seems reasonable to most of us. You can't force a country to not be what it is. But then what can countries do about businesses that they consider based there, or the businesses that are of that country? What can they compel that business to do in relation to tax?
And that should be the focus. I mean, we can't control what the individuals would do, but we can control what the firms can do and how they can pay the taxes. The reality is that we have a tax system that was based just after the Second World War, when actually the First World War, when nations were still very not so global and the transactions were not global. And now we have a global economy and we need to reform that tax system. There are proposals out there that suggest that companies should not pay taxes on how much profit they create within a country, but they should pay taxes according to the global profit. So there needs to be some consolidation of what is the multinational company's profit overall, and then allow the different countries to tax that profit. And there are very, very concrete proposals on how to do that.
And are they proposals that might win widespread support, or at least support across jurisdictions?
No. The jurisdictions that benefit right now, of course, will not by itself say, yes, let's move to the new system. There has to be some international coordination. In the European Union, that, for example, this is a bit easier because the European Union can impose a different system of taxation among the states. We have that system, which is existent, that system now between the states in the United States of America. And the idea would be that an institution like the WTO could take it to the global level. But even there are countries that are not members of the WTO. So it is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
The alternative is something that the Republican Party proposed in the beginning of the year, of changing the taxation system unilaterally, that a big country like the US can do. That doesn't demand any coordination. And it does address the issue of the taxation.
Well, look, we ruled out at the beginning of our conversation whether anything illegal was going on. What about, just finally this morning, discussing the ethics of this? I mean, we have someone as high profile as the Queen. You have a singer like Bono who's forever singing about issues that concern social justice, and now it turns out that he's doing something to minimise his tax. How does that play out?
Yeah, truly. I mean, any individual that will look at that will say, okay, maybe they didn't know these people what the financial advisors were doing,
Sure.
but they should control and they should tell them that we don't want to do this sort of issues. I do think there is a moral issue. I do think that people are paying taxes and we're all paying taxes, and everybody sees the fair amount of tax to be paid as a reasonable demand.
Yep. I think most people would see that too. Pascalis Raimondos, really good to talk to you this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.